What is happening, YouTube? Efficient in the field with his beautiful wife, Super Beast. And she's going to join me in the first part of this video, guys. We're going to talk about extreme water rationing. How much water do you actually need per person to make it through SHTF? And I'm going to say that we haven't actually had to live SHTF, but we've lived a lot of years that mimicked it in a lot of ways. We spent almost 9 years off-grid out in the boonies and stuff like that. I used to think it was 8, but I did the math again, and it's closer to 9. So a lot of times we were in places where there was very little water or there was no water. We had to haul it with us. And so we've learned how to just make every little ounce go as far as it can possibly go. So that's what we're going to talk about, but we're going to start by making a point in this video, guys. Start by making a point. What we're going to do is we're going to wash Super Beast's hair with less than a half gallon of water. That's right, pimps. And we're going to do it the same exact way that we used to do it off-grid. So everything is the same, except we're not actually out in the boonies, right?
Well,
we're in the boonies, but we're on the ranch, okay? But here's what we've got, dudes. We've got an old gallon of water. This is one of those crystal geyser ones. Right, isn't that the brand?
yeah.
And it's actually one of the ones we brought with us on the road. It's had the hell beat out of it. We've got a half gallon. Super Beast has her soap and her conditioner and her towel. And we're going to wash her hair on top of one of our coolers outside. And guys, we have done this in every season, everywhere you can imagine. If you want to make it a little bit more enjoyable and it's cold out and it's wintertime, you know what you do? You just heat that water up before you get cracking on it. Let's get right after it, dudes. We're going to do it without cutting the video so you guys can make sure you know that I didn't cheat and didn't add water to the jug partway through. What I'm going to do, guys, is try and keep this jug in the frame while we're working. And you can see my wife has a lot of hair, and it's long. Okay, dudes? So here's how you get this done, man. First thing you do, without pouring water in your wife's eyes, is just get her hair wet. Okay, and she's going to rub it in while we're going. Okay, good. And one more. Communicate. Communicate, pimps. Okay. And to be honest, dudes, we haven't done it this way in probably about 3 years. So we might be a little rusty. We used to do it with about 1/3 of a gallon or a little bit less.
Okay, remember light rinse.
Yep, light rinse. So what Super Beast just did, and this is one of the tricks that you want to rock when you're out and you're dirty, is you use a little bit of soap to break the surface tension of your hair. Okay? Now she's going to soap her hair up for real. And we're going to give it the full rinse. Now here's the thing, guys. You can actually take a full shower with half a gallon. This is a bit of a waste of water, realistically speaking, dudes, because all we're doing is washing her hair. But if she were standing and I were getting her hair wet, I'm also getting her body wet at the same time, right? That water's now doing double duty. And when I rinse her, it's rinsing her body. So you can do a full shower with a half gallon of water. Ready? Here we go. How many times have I dumped this water in your eyes, babe?
A few.
You're going to squeeze, wringing it out? Huh?
Okay.
Okay, more?
No.
All right. You going to do conditioner?
Yep.
See, she's wringing it out. And this is with conditioner, pimps. Doing the whole thing, man. Going all the way. Gonna have sexy hair all the way through the apocalypse. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Oopsies. There we go. All right, do you need any more?
Nope.
All right, there we have it, dudes. We've got not quite a quarter of a gallon left. I'm going to say a fifth of a gallon. Bam. Done. You know, dudes, a lot of people in SHTF are really going to struggle with water conservation, and they're going to totally shit the bed, and they're going to screw you in the process. Because let's think about the way that people live right now. And be honest, dudes, who amongst you have washed your hair with, you know, a little over a quarter gallon of water? Who amongst you have taken a shower with less than a half gallon of water? Let's be real, you know, and done it regularly. Every once in a while, you know, you might have been out camping with your homeboys and you had freaking mud butt and shit like that, and you went off in the woods with a bottle of water and scrubbed your ass crack out, you know. But not a lot of people have done showers like this at all. And a lot of people that even do off-grid showers, they do it while they're out camping or hunting. It's temporary. They know they're going to go back and they're going to have all the water they need, and they usually bring just way more water than they actually need to begin with. You know what I'm saying, dudes? And so what's going to happen is there's going to be this adjustment period for people when shit hit the fan, where they are literally burning through 20 gallons of water a day per person. And they're only going to start rationing it when half that water is gone in 2 weeks. Half of their entire storage that's supposed to get them through shit hit the fan. All right, dudes. Now here's the thing. I want to challenge all of you to actually practice a little bit of water conservation just for shits and giggles, man. Take a 1 gallon jug into your bathroom shower. Give yourself a shower so you can see what you're going to be dealing with and shit hit the fan, so you know. Because it's going to suck, dudes. I'm going to tell you. That's how it's going to be. And you're not going to take a shower every single day. How often are you going to shower or bathe? It's going to depend on your situation, right? Because everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. Am I saying that everybody is going to be out there having to rock a shower with a quarter gallon of water? No, that's not what I'm saying. You might actually have some body of water all to yourself and be able to go down and, you know, scrub it up and shit like that, you know, and get all the good parts without someone coming along and, you know, trying to put a hole in you and steal all your shit. You know, and I've talked about this in some other videos. In SHTF, at least the opening chaotic window, you do not want to be on the edge of some body of water. You don't. People that are out there are going to walk the shorelines. They're going to scout it out, man. They're going to wonder if there's anybody else in the area. So you're probably going to find yourself in a situation where you are hauling water during the nighttime hours from that body of water to your camp and trying to do it without leaving any tracks and covering your tracks. And so you're still going to be conserving water. That's what you're going to be doing at camp, right? Because the less trips you have to make down to that lake, pond, stream, river, whatever it's going to be, the safer you are. If you're prepping and you're all set up and you got a place where you got some wells and some generators and some big storage tanks, it doesn't change. It does not change. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break down some of my experiences, they're very broad, so we're just going to pick like a select couple, maybe a few, and kind of talk about those, because this is what's really like structured my view on how many gallons of water each person needs per day. And I'm going to get into that before we close this video out. We made one trip once upon a time to southwestern Texas and spent a number of weeks out in the Chihuahuan Desert. And during that trip, we used a half gallon of water per person per day. And there were 3 kids, me and my wife, and my dog, my big brown dog, Cowboy. And so we went through 3 gallons of water a day. and we had to haul the water in with us. We did find a source of water while we were out there, but it was miles from where we were camping. And so we didn't really take advantage of it, but it was good to know it was there. And I always do that, guys. Anytime we're out in the boonies anywhere, I'm like, where's the water, man? Let's go find that shit. You know, I want to know. This guy wants to know. And a half gallon of water a day per person, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's impossible. No, it's not impossible. A lot of those same people would have said before watching the beginning of this video that washing that much hair with a little over a quarter gallon of water is impossible. It's not impossible, dudes. And it was in the 90s to low 100s part of the time while we were out there. We cut down on water usage in a number of ways, and I want to share that stuff with you guys. One of the things we did was we brought paper plates with us. So when we were done eating a meal, the dog licked them off for the extra calories, and we used them to help start the fire. And we also cooked a lot of one skillet meals at that point in time. You guys probably know what that is. You're using either a skillet or a pot and either a spatula or a spoon to cook dinner. So you have a minimal amount of dishes to wash. Everybody had their own spoons and their own forks. And if we were in shit hit the fan, you know, you just lick them off when you're done. And the same thing with a plate. Let's say you bugged out with a couple of aluminum plates and it's SHTF, man. When you're done with dinner, you're licking the damn thing clean because you want it as clean as possible before you throw your next meal on it. You know, that's the tactic that you just need to employ, guys. You know, that's just what it is, man. I will tell you guys that that was the minimum amount of water that we could have got that done with. Seriously, the minimum, you know, and we limited daytime activity in the middle of the day, that hot period of time, to an absolute minimum. We were usually laying around reading, taking a nap, doing that kind of thing, playing a board game, something like that, and then would be hiking around in the AM and later in the PM and even at night, because this guy loves doing night hikes. And that's something to take note of, guys. There's a lot of cultures that have developed this siesta approach. And that's because they live in places that get very hot. And they used to, or still are, third world countries. And so water is a precious commodity to them. It's not like North America where people go hop in the shower and burn through 200 gallons of water every single day just scrubbing their cracks. And the way the siesta thing works is they get up early in the morning, usually before the sun comes up. They work until like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. They go do some tequila shooters, eat a nice big meal, and take a nap for 3 hours. By the time they wake up, it's cooled off. They get back out there and they get more work done. And this is going to cut down quite a bit on how much water you sweat out. Perspiration. You want to keep it as low as possible, especially in shit hit the fan. Now let's talk about some other situations I've been in. I've been in ones where I'm camped on the edge of a lake or a stream, a river, whatever it's going to be. And I will tell you guys that without a doubt, this makes off-grid living much more enjoyable. I'm going to tell you guys that I think that 1 gallon of water per person per day is much more realistic living this kind of way. It's going to give you drinking water. It's going to give you extra water for cooking. It's going to give you extra water for washing dishes. And you're going to have to take this and apply it to your own situation. Some of you out there live in a place that is in the 60s and 70s in the wintertime and is up in the 120s plus in the summer. Can you survive on 1 gallon of water per day in that kind of heat? Especially if you have to be out moving around for some reason? You can't. You can't make it. And I can tell you that because in Ranger School, guys, I counted how many quarts of water I drank one day in swamp phase in Florida, and the temps got to 140 degrees with heat index. That means they account for humidity and how much of a toll it takes on the body. And I drank 17 quarts of water that day and did not piss. I was sweating all of it out. So it's realistic to say that depending on your situation and where you're at, you might have to plan on 5 gallons of water a day per person during certain parts of the year, and maybe 2 gallons of water per day per person in other parts of the year. You know where you live better than I do. You know what I'm saying, guys? So you're going to have to do the math. And I want you to keep in mind that your physical activity level compared to what you do today is probably going to increase drastically. And there's plenty of guys out there that work hard all day. I got a lot of iron workers in the family, man. And you know what? Those guys work hard all day long. They get out there and they kick ass. And is it going to change for them and shit hit the fan? Hell, they might even catch a bit of a break. You know what I'm saying? They might be working less after it all falls apart. Just stuff to keep in mind, guys. You got to look at your own situation. Please, dudes, keep in mind that this is strictly like personal use water. 1 gallon per person per day. What that's going to do is put you in a spot where, you know, you're going to be drinking a half, maybe 3/4 of it, depending on what you're doing. And you're going to be saving up a little bit of the rest of it for a shower at the end of the week. And a little bit of that water every single day is going to go towards helping to wash dishes. We need to talk about something else real quick, guys, because modern people have no concept of water conservation. They don't. They're absolutely clueless about it, guys. In the aforementioned scenario where people burn through 200 gallons of water in a shower every single day because they're in there for freaking 45 minutes or whatever, that shit is real. It's legit, man. And people just don't know. They have no idea what it's going to be like to haul their own water from whatever body of water is a half mile away every single freaking day and shit hit the fan. And here's the thing. Those of you that are not lone wolfing it. So if you are a husband with just a wife, or if you're a husband with a wife and 2 kids, or you're part of a group, 20 people, every single person that is physically capable of doing it, and I'm going to say even kids, man. You know what? I've had my kids haul water. Be like, here you go, man. At first, when they're little, they're like carrying a gallon like this, you know. Of course, one of the boys always had he needed to prove like he was like down, man. And I remember he was just over 2 years old and carried a 5-gallon bottle of water with the handle on the side. He carried that thing way up a hill to where we were building the cabin. It was impressive. It was impressive because it weighed more than he did, you know. But here's the thing, guys, is everyone needs to haul their own water, even the kids, because they need to know what it takes to get that water to camp. If you just take one person and you designate them as the water hauler, I will tell you what, people in your group will let that fool break his back hauling water for 16 hours a day. They will just use that shit. If it is there, they will use it. Everybody needs to haul water, and they need to haul their own water, at least initially, in my personal opinion, until they put a value on that resource. And they're like, oh shit, man, like I got to use the minimal amount of water washing these dishes because shit, I'm on water hauling detail tomorrow. You know what I'm saying, dudes? I know couples that are preppers and they snowbird in the wintertime, and the wife will burn through the entire trailer's water tank every single day. And her husband spends his entire winter snowbirded hauling water every single day for her because she just will not conserve. Look at all these damn flies, dudes. Boy, do they have a surprise coming and shit hit the fan, though. I'm telling you, man, it is going to be reality checks all around, man. They're just going to be getting passed out. Baby wipes. Let's talk about those real fast, pimps, because this guy personally really likes baby wipes. I keep a pack of them in the back of my vehicles. I keep one in the outhouse out here. And I keep at least a box of baby wipes, like a big box of baby wipes, as a part of my preps. Because I want you guys to think about something. And shit hit the fan. Toilet paper only does such a good job. And if you're at a point where you're not taking a shower every day to every other day anymore, I'm going to tell you that your crack is going to start to reek after a short period of time. And so it's always just better to make sure you can touch that bitch up with some baby wipes when you're done. You know, 1, 2 baby wipes, and you're going to be cleaner. You're going to shower less, and in turn, you're going to conserve more water. Because what happens when you don't have baby wipes and even don't have ship paper in SHTF? Like, what do you think you're going to use to clean your crack with? A lot of people are like, oh man, I'm just going to go wipe it with weeds. Have you wiped your ass with weeds? I have. I've wiped my ass with weeds. I've wiped it with those pine cones that have all they look like a Brillo pad because all the nuts have come off of them and shit like that. I've wiped my ass with moss out of trees. I've wiped it with some leaves actually out here. I don't even know what the plant's called, but my kids call it Indian butt wipe. Because they've done it. You know, they've wiped their cracks with that plant. Not because I didn't provide them with toilet paper, but because they wanted to know and they wanted to try it out. A lot of people think they're going to go wipe their ass with freaking weeds and shit, and you know what? They're really not. They're going to do it one time and they're going to be like, man, I'm just going to wash my crack out with water. Well, where does that put you? Now it puts you in a situation where your water use per day, per person just increased because you feel like you need to have a clean butthole all day long. It probably hasn't clicked for a lot of people that have made it this far into this video, but water is your most precious resource in Shit Hit the Fan. It's life-sustaining. You can't go without it, dudes. Let's talk about my situation out here on the ranch real quick when it comes to water, because I think that's going to shed a little light on how important this guy feels water conservation is. We have 5,000 gallons, actually a little bit more than that, worth of storage here, and they are all full right now. We also have the means of getting water out of 2 separate wells after shit hits the fan. One has a generator attached, and we've got plenty of gas to run that baby, and the other one is a solar well. You just flick a switch and it starts pumping water. And so being in that situation right there, still, people in this group will not have unlimited access to water. The water will be rationed per person per day. That's how it's going to have to happen, dudes, because I'm telling you, just like we've already said in this video, man, somebody in the group is going to burn through 20 gallons a day while everybody else is trying to conserve, and they're literally screwing you. That's what they're doing, man. They are setting the entire team up for failure. And so it can't work that way. There's going to be a time of day when you can get water. People are going to have to come down. Everybody, they're going to be supervised by leadership, and they're going to have to haul their own water up, even the little kids, because it's going to put real value on it when they're like, oh man, that's my water, and they're looking at that 1 gallon jug, you know, going, that's all I get for the day. Even if they're 4, it's going to click. They're going to be like, oh man, you know, I'm going to conserve it. Now kids at that age, what they're going to do is they're going to use that entire gallon. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to do. They're not going to think about saving any for later down the road, or saving some for the end of the week so they can, you know, clean up and wash themselves. So that's going to be their parents' responsibility, obviously, because I put all of it on parents when it comes to kids, man. If your kids are fucking something up, it's your fault. But everyone needs to haul their water, and you know what? Deal with it. That's how much you get. You got to find a way to wash all those dishes and to take care of all your business with that water. Yes, you have to cut back on how often you bathe. Yes, you're going to have to really cut back on how often you wash clothes. You know what I'm saying, dudes? It's true. It's true. You're just going to have to cut back. You're going to have to catch water catchment. We have that out here on the ranch. We have a number of buildings with metal roofs and gutters and tanks underneath them. And I didn't count that storage into the 5,000 gallons. So we have an additional, let's see, 3,600, 2,100. So another 2,700 gallons worth of water storage that is rain catchment. Still though, we're not just going to burn through that shit, dudes. Super, super, super important. A lot of preppers and survivalists out there, they're like, my guns are my most precious resource. No, the fuck they're not, man. Doesn't matter how many guns you have, if your ass is out of water, you're dead. And I know some dickhead's gonna comment down below and be like, I'm just gonna come take your water. Super smart, man. That is the smartest approach ever, that you're going to find the most prepared people in the entire country that are far smarter than you because they're far more prepared than you, and you're gonna come take their shit. These are real geniuses that they're planning on rocking this shit in SHTF, dudes. I think we can wrap the video right there, guys. This video expands on another video I did in the past. I want to say it was called Water Preps. I did it a long time ago, but I'll try and link it up in the corner of the video here. And I've mentioned water in other videos, guys. I'm going to tell you, bare minimum 1 gallon per person per day. Bare minimum. And it's going to be hard that way. It's going to be hard and it's going to be dirty. But guess what? It's a good place to start. And so if you're just getting into this whole thing and you've been looking at current events and you're like, wow, we are absolutely screwed. I better do something fast to make sure my family's ready. That would be a good goal to shoot for. And when you get to 1 gallon of water per day per person for 2 years, then you want to go to 2 gallons per person per day for 2 years. Then you want to go to 3. You know what I'm saying? You get the idea, dudes. And always good to make sure that you just have a source of water that's not going to fail you. You know, it's never a for sure thing, guys. It's never a for sure thing, because there may be some creek that you're banking on right now and weather patterns could hose you. The failure of a dam could hose you. There's a million things that could hose you down the road. So I'm just going to recommend that everybody make sure that they have water storage right off the bat, and also make sure that you have alternate sources of water. In addition to those wells I mentioned, we also have a pond out here that holds water year round. And so I'm not even worried about my livestock, the kinds on 4 hooves. That's where they go get their water. You know, I don't have to water them out of our water ration. It's just going to be chickens, and they drink about 1 gallon a day in total. All my chickens, I got a little over 2 dozen. And then my 2 dogs, they drink about 1 gallon or more per day. And then us humans here, you know. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna let y'all go. I hope you enjoyed the video. Comments down below. That was a fly that just blocked the freaking screen. But comments down below. What do you guys think? You know, where are you at with it? What do you think is the minimum when it comes to water storage through shit hit the fan? Do you have any tricks to help people conserve water? It's always a conversation on this channel. Let's include that stuff down below. And we are going to get into water filtration. I'm going to do a whole video on it, this guy's perspective. And trust me, it's going to blow you away. 80-20 like always, guys. 20% of what we do produces 80% of the results, pimps. And I'm going to tell you that water conservation is a part of the 20% that's going to produce the results for you when shit hit the fan. All right, guys, that's it. Make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss the stuff that's coming down the pipe. Check out my Patreon link in the description, and I'll see you all in the next video.